Listen, not with your ears. Those have heard enough. Listen with your soul. Listen with the part of you that knows there's more. Hearing is easy. You've been hearing your whole life noise, words, promises, warnings, dreams, but you haven't truly listened because true listening demands stillness, focus, and surrender. True listening imprints on your subconscious. It doesn't just touch the surface, it changes you. This moment, right now, is not another passing sentence. It's not more noise for your mind to ignore. It is a moment that can divide your life into two parts, before and after. This is the moment you wake up. There is a law unchanging, unbreakable, and always working. It is the law of attraction. And whether you believe in it, doubt it, worship it, or ignore it, it is shaping your life, not tomorrow, not someday, right now. Everything you are, everything you see, everything you feel, it's already a result of the law at work. Your current reality is not a coincidence. It is a mirror. It reflects your dominant thoughts, your subconscious beliefs, your repeated emotions, and the story you've been telling yourself for years. You didn't need to understand this law for it to be real. Gravity doesn't ask for your understanding before it pulls you down. And this law doesn't wait for your permission. It responds to what you feel. It reacts to what you repeat. It obeys your focus. And it answers with precision. You've already used this law. You've already activated it. Every time you said, "This always happens to me," and it did. There it was. Every time you feared something deeply, and it arrived, there it was. Every time you gave your attention to worry and life gave you more to worry about, you were in the cycle. You've been attracting all along, but without control. That ends today. Today you stop living by accident. Today you stop drifting through life, hoping for better without ever becoming better. Today you stop blaming luck, timing, or fate. None of those things rule you. What rules your life is what you consistently hold in your mind and charge with feeling. This is the law. It has no mercy. It has no favorites. It does not bend to your emotions. It moves according to your frequency. You either use it or get used by it, but you will not escape it. Understand this. Your subconscious mind is always listening, always receiving, always building. Every repetition of thought is a brick. Every emotion is cement. Every belief you repeat, even in silence, becomes the walls of your reality. What you allow to dwell within you, you will eventually see outside of you. So what have you been building? Have you been constructing your future or sabotaging it? Have you been attracting abundance or recycling fear? Have you been holding thoughts of power or letting your mind run wild with doubt? This is your wake-up call. This is your moment to reclaim control. You cannot afford to be passive anymore. Passive thought creates passive lives. Vague desire attracts nothing. Indecision breeds delay. Weak intention invites defeat. But focused, emotional, repeated thought, backed by the fire of belief, moves mountains. You are not weak. You are not broken. You are not here to watch others live while you shrink. You are here to create, to command, to direct the law by intention, by force of will, by clarity of aim. But to do that, you must listen now, fully, fiercely, with hunger in your heart and fire in your bones. This moment is not like the others. This moment is the turning point. You will remember this moment one day. You will look back and say, "That was the hour I woke up." Or you will remember it with regret, saying, "That was the hour I could have changed everything, but I let it pass." And the only difference between those two futures is whether you listened or not. This is not a motivational speech. This is not hype. This is law. You don't need to like it. You don't need to believe it instantly, but you need to test it. Because the moment you start applying it with purpose, your entire reality begins to shift. So ask yourself, are you willing to become deliberate? Are you ready to direct the force that's already shaping your life? Because that force will respond to whatever you decide, not once, not weekly, but every time you repeat it with emotion and clarity. This is not fantasy. This is not wishing. This is not hoping. This is scientific, spiritual law. You will begin to feel your energy shift. You will begin to speak differently, walk differently, think differently. You will start to notice that life is reflecting you, not the version of you that puts on a smile, but the one you carry in your subconscious. That version creates your results. No more drifting. No more delay. This is the hour. This is the line. You do not cross it casually. You step over it with conviction. You command your mind. You command your focus. You command your reality. And in that moment, the law begins to respond in kind. The world doesn't change when you complain. It doesn't change when you hope. It changes when you declare, when you choose, when you say, enough. I decide now who I become. The law will give you what you demand, not what you wish for. And that demand is not spoken in desperation. It's spoken in faith, in repetition, in belief forged through discipline. So here you are, face to face with truth. What will you do with it? Will you go back to sleep, or will you rise and build? Say it now. I will listen. I will act. I will command my thoughts and direct my destiny. This is not a moment of inspiration. It is a decision point, and everything you become will grow from what you choose now. Choose with purpose. Choose with power. Choose like your life depends on it, because it does. Everything begins in the invisible. Every triumph, every invention, every empire, every revolution began with a thought, before it had shape, before it had form, before the world ever saw it. It lived in the mind of a man who refused to let it go. That is where destiny is born, not in luck, not in chance, not in circumstances, but in thought. Thought is not an illusion. It is not harmless, idle wind passing through your mind. Thought is a force. Thought is a blueprint. Thought is spiritual architecture, the very foundation of the reality you will live in tomorrow. What you think about with intention, what you feed with emotion, what you repeat with belief, will become the world you walk through, always. Thought is the seed, belief is the water, action is the growth, and the fruit is the result. Look at every great man history remembers, not for who they were, but for what they built. Before Edison brought light to the world, he lived in the light of an idea. 10,000 times he tried and failed, but it was never failure, it was construction. Every attempt shaped his belief. Every setback strengthened the thought. He did not wish for it. He did not hope for it. He saw it. He believed it. He obsessed over it. And because of that obsession, the light came. Henry Ford imagined an engine that every expert told him was impossible. They laughed. They doubted. But he held the image in his mind. He thought it morning and night. He believed in it with such intensity that his belief infected the minds of his engineers. And eventually, the impossible engine became possible. Why? Because one man held one thought with total conviction. Andrew Carnegie saw more than steel. He saw a system of wealth distribution, of philanthropy, of building men, not just machines. He wasn't born into riches. He attracted them. How? Because the thought came first. The vision lived in his mind, and he built his empire not with steel, but with the thought that commanded it. That's the chain. That's the secret. It has never changed. Thought, belief, action, result. If you don't begin with the right thought, you will never arrive at the right result. Thought is the seed of all things, but it must not be casual. It must not be vague. It must be deliberate, focused, and charged with purpose. Casual thoughts build casual lives. Weak thoughts build weak futures. You cannot think fear and attract strength. You cannot dwell on lack and attract abundance. You cannot scatter your thoughts and expect them to form something solid. A scattered mind builds nothing. It is like throwing seeds to the wind and praying for a harvest. You must choose the thought you will hold, and you must hold it like fire in your hands daily, without fail. It cannot be a passing wish. It must be your mental obsession. Every great success begins with an obsession, not a passing interest, not a fleeting idea, but a consuming inner picture that dominates your thinking day and night. Do you understand now why so many fail? It is not because they lack opportunity. It is not because they lack intelligence. It is because they think on accident. They think fear when they should be thinking faith. They dwell on failure when they should be obsessed with victory. They let their mind wander, drift, repeat doubt, Replay pain and the law responds with precision. Your results are not random. They are perfectly aligned with the vibration of your dominant thoughts. You cannot fake the law. It doesn't listen to what you say once. It listens to what you repeat constantly. The thoughts you think the most, those are your true beliefs. Those are the signals you are broadcasting into the unseen. And those are the signals that come back to you in the form of people, events, circumstances, and outcomes. So ask yourself now, what is the dominant thought in your mind? Is it empowering or weakening? Is it shaping or destroying? Is it pulling you forward or holding you down? Because whether you acknowledge it or not, it is working. Right now, right this second, everything you think sends out a signal. Thought is vibration. Thought is energy. Thought has a frequency, and the law of attraction is the mirror of that frequency. If you want to change your results, do not begin with your environment. Do not begin with your bank account. Do not begin with your circumstances. Begin with the seed. Begin with thought. What are you planting today? Are you planting certainty or hesitation? Are you planting vision or confusion? Are you repeating affirmations of power or stories of limitation? You are the farmer. Your mind is the soil. Your thoughts are the seeds. Your emotions are the weather. And your habits are the harvest. The process is always happening. Whether you're aware of it or not, the field is growing something. It's up to you to decide what. It is time to take responsibility for what you plant. No one else is thinking your thoughts for you. No one else can build your future from the inside out. It begins and ends with you. Choose a thought, hold it, repeat it, feel it, visualize it, speak it, let it become the atmosphere of your being, and do not let anything contrary survive in your mind. Just as you would not let poison touch your skin, do not let doubt touch your thought. It kills faster. This is not daydreaming. This is deliberate construction. This is mental architecture. Every time you close your eyes and see the life you are building, every time you speak of it aloud with certainty, every time you align your actions with that image, you are summoning it that the thought must come first. If you're not getting the results you want, do not blame the world. Look inward. Inspect the roots. What are you feeding your subconscious daily? Are you showing it a picture of strength or of fear? Are you impressing it with images of victory or failure? You cannot expect a powerful life from weak thought. You cannot create strength from confusion. You cannot manifest greatness from a mind filled with contradictions. You must decide. Choose a thought, a vision, a belief that matches the future you desire. Let it grow inside you until it replaces all hesitation. Let it become so real in your mind that the world has no choice but to reflect it. The man who rules his thought will rule his life, but the man who drifts will always be ruled by whatever he allows it. The world is not shaped by those who react. It is shaped by those who create, and creation begins in thought. From this moment forward, treat your thoughts as sacred. Guard them. Choose them with purpose. Feed them with emotion. Repeat them with fire. Build them until they become the structure you live in. And above all, never think casually again. Casual thought is the enemy of creation. Scattered desire builds nothing. You are not here to dabble. You are here to dominate your reality by mastering the force that begins it all, thought. This is the foundation. This is the origin. And this is the power that no one can take from you. No matter where you are, no matter what your past, no matter your circumstances, if you can think it and hold it and believe it and act upon it, you can shape your destiny. It begins now with one thought, held long enough, felt deep enough, repeated fiercely enough. The world will respond. You don't lose to life. You lose to distraction. You don't get defeated by failure. You get defeated by drift. That slow, subtle erosion of clarity, that fog that creeps in when you stop deciding who you are, that dull voice inside that says, "I'll get to it later." Drift is the silent destroyer of potential. Most people never crash. They coast. They drift into mediocrity one thought at a time. They let their focus weaken, their urgency fade, their intentions scatter, not because they're lazy, because they're undisciplined. They never learn to command their attention, so life commands it for them. And the truth is, the law doesn't care. The law of attraction doesn't ask if you're serious. It doesn't check whether you're focused. It simply responds. It responds to whatever you give it, clearly or carelessly. It works whether you're in control or not. It doesn't pause when you're tired. It doesn't stop because you're distracted. If your mind is running wild, your life will reflect the chaos. That's the danger. The law is always on. And if you don't take the wheel, it drives you wherever your unconscious thoughts drift. So every day you go unfocused is a day you plant seeds you didn't choose in soil you didn't protect, expecting a harvest you never intended. Focus is not optional. Focus is the filter between building and breaking. It's not just a productivity hack, it's spiritual discipline. Focus is power in concentrated form, and it is rare because it is hard. But not for the reason you think. It's not hard because you're incapable. It's hard because you've been trained to chase noise. You've been fed 1,000 distractions and called it normal. But it's not normal. It's sabotage. The greatest tool you have is your attention. And whoever owns your attention owns your life. So what's the first practice of discipline? Eliminate the mental weeds. Before you plant anything, you clear the field. You pull out the old root. You get honest about what's been growing without your permission. Doubt, fear, comparison, resentment, anxiety. These are weeds. They do not belong. They do not help. They strangle what you're trying to grow. You can't plant power and water fear. You can't speak faith and feed on chaos. You cannot move forward while carrying the weight of every toxic, intrusive thought you've never questioned. You've got to clear space. That means you become the guardian of your inner world. You don't let every headline, every comment, every impulse shape your emotional state. You decide what thoughts are allowed. You decide what gets attention. You decide what gets to live in your mind. Controlled attention is the ultimate discipline. It's the seed, the soil, and the guard. You choose the thought. You plant it deliberately. You prepare the soil, your emotional state, your inner beliefs, and then you guard it daily, relentlessly, with awareness, because the moment you stop watching, the weeds come back. And yes, it's work, but stop calling it hard. That's the first reframe. It's not hard, it's discipline. And discipline is a choice. You already have it, you've just been using it on the wrong things. You're disciplined in your distractions. Disciplined in your doubt, disciplined in your excuses. Now shift it. Take that same energy and aim it. You'll be shocked at how fast things change when your focus gets pure. You've been told success is about doing more. It's not. It's about focusing better. Most people are not overwhelmed because they have too much to do. They're overwhelmed because they never decided what matters most. Their energy is leaking in every direction. And that's not because they're weak. It's because they're unfocused. You don't need more time. You need more clarity. One focused hour beats 10 scattered ones. One intentional thought beats 100 random ones. One disciplined act done daily beats every burst of occasional motivation. Your life is not waiting for you to do more. It's waiting for you to direct your mind. The most successful people don't have more talent. They have tighter focus. They control what they think about. They don't let life distract them into average. They master the art of saying no internally and externally. No to the thought. No to the fear. No to the emotion that doesn't match their future. They know that drift is always one decision away, so they build disciplines to anchor them, and it starts where everything does in the mind. So now ask yourself, where are you drifting? Where have you let go of the wheel? Where have you let your energy scatter, your thoughts go unchecked, your attention wander? Those areas are bleeding results from your life. And the fix is not more effort, it's better discipline. That doesn't mean rigidity, it means alignment. You don't need to think about everything. You need to think about the right things. You don't need more motivation. You need mental direction. From this point on, you are not casual about your thoughts. You are not reactive with your focus. You are not passive with your attention. You treat it like treasure, because it is. Your attention is the lever. Where it goes, your energy follows. Where your energy flows, your results grow. So eliminate the weeds. Remove the distractions. Refuse to indulge thoughts that pull you out of alignment. Say no not once but constantly. Discipline is not one big act. It's 1,000 micro decisions to stay on course. You are no longer the victim of drift. You are the master of direction. Your focus is your weapon. Your thought is your tool. Your attention is your power. Use it deliberately. Use it consistently. Use it without apology, because the future belongs to the focused, the disciplined, the awake. And the moment you stop drifting, you rise. The subconscious mind does not respond to logic. It does not care about what you know. It listens only to what you feel and what you repeat. Again and again, with emotion, with certainty, with presence. Repetition and emotion are the twin tools of belief. Not knowledge, not facts, not good intentions. Repetition, emotion. That's the architecture of belief. And belief is everything. You do not get what you want. You get what you believe, not what you wish for, not what you occasionally think about. What you believe deeply, emotionally, consistently. Every time you speak something with feeling, every time you visualize something with emotion, you're sending a signal to your subconscious. This is real. This is mine. This is who I am. And your subconscious, pure, uncritical, unfiltered, starts working to make it true. That's how the system works. Your inner world creates the outer. The subconscious governs behavior, energy, magnetism, attraction. It is your engine, but it only runs on the fuel you feed it. And the fuel is emotional repetition. Say it once, nothing. Say it once without feeling. Less than nothing. But say it every day with intensity, with clarity, with conviction, and the subconscious begins to obey. Not because it's magic, but because it's law. You are rewiring your internal chemistry to match the frequency of what you desire. That's why vision boards work for some. That's why affirmations work for some. Because it's not the tools, it's the feeling behind them. The belief built through repetition. The clarity carved through practice. That's the power. Look at every visionary who ever bent reality to their will. They weren't lucky. They were obsessed. They lived inside their vision long before the world saw it. They repeated the image of their future so vividly, so constantly, so emotionally, that it became inevitable. Walt Disney saw castles before they rose from dirt. He said, "If you can dream it, you can do it." But he didn't just dream it. He walked it in his mind, again and again, until it formed brick by brick in the world. That's not inspiration. That's subconscious programming. Muhammad Ali didn't become champion the day he stepped in the ring. He became champion the day he believed he was. "I am the greatest," he said, not once, but endlessly. He spoke it until the world echoed it back. The power wasn't in the words, it was in the belief behind them. Steve Jobs imagined devices no one else could see, and lived inside those images with such relentless focus that entire industries bent to his vision. He didn't just build technology. He built belief first in himself, then in others. What did they all have in common? A dominant thought, repeated with intensity, carried with emotion, spoken, imagined, lived, until it became the only reality they accepted. That's the key. Your dominant thought, not your occasional wish, not your temporary motivation. Your dominant thought, the one you come back to, the one you feel most strongly, the one you live in mentally, whether your eyes are open or shut. So what is yours? Do you even know? Here's your exercise. Define it. Name it. Choose the thought that matches the life you want, and then build a routine around it, morning and night. Speak it aloud. Close your eyes and see it. Don't just say it. Feel it. Let it charge your nervous system. Let it flood your body with certainty. Let it become your emotional home. Because here's the secret. Your life will never rise above your dominant emotion. If your most repeated feeling is anxiety, you'll attract chaos. If your most repeated feeling is power, you'll attract breakthroughs. Your feeling is your frequency. So say it again. Say it with more certainty. Say it until your voice vibrates with truth. And then shut your eyes and see it. Not someday, not maybe, now. It's already yours. You're already living it. You don't hope for it. You feel it real. That's the phrase, feel it real. You must embody the future before it arrives. You must hold the result in your nervous system, not as fantasy, but as truth. That's how the subconscious responds. It cannot tell the difference between real and vividly imagined. So make your imagination vivid. Make it emotional. Make it magnetic. Because once your subconscious accepts a new truth, everything shifts. Your habits change. Your posture changes. Your conversations change. Your expectations change. The world begins to echo back what you've been building inside. But the formula never changes. Repetition, motion, belief, action, a reality. So from this moment on, speak it daily. Visualize it deeply. Feel it constantly. You don't get what you affirm once. You get what you affirm always, with power. And no, you won't feel it perfectly every time. But do it anyway. Do it until it becomes normal. Do it until your body believes it, without question. Do it until the old story breaks and the new one replaces it, without effort. That's discipline. That's devotion. That's how belief is built. And once belief is built, the results will follow. They must. They're drawn to belief, like gravity. Because the world doesn't respond to words, it responds to energy. And belief is the most magnetic energy on earth. So choose your dominant thought. Speak it. Feel it. Live it. Not someday. Every day. Not once. Repeatedly. Not dry. With emotion. And watch how fast your world begins to match your mind. Your words are not harmless. They are not background noise. Every sentence you speak is a command, broadcasting belief into the world and into your subconscious. Language is not decoration. It is instruction. It's a signal, and the signals you send with your words create your life. Speech is not casual. It is causal. Every I can't becomes a wall. Every I never becomes a cage. Every it's hard becomes a chain you lock around your own power. You don't speak from reality. You speak into reality. You don't just describe your life, you design it with your language. Words are mirrors of belief. What you say reveals what you've accepted as true. And most people speak weakness without even realizing it. They call it being realistic. They call it being honest. But what it really is agreement. Agreement with limitation. Agreement with fear. Agreement with lack. And every time you speak that way, you reinforce it. You program it deeper. You say things like, I'm always broke, and so you are. I never have energy, and so you don't. I'm not good with people, and now you've written the script for your future interaction. These aren't harmless phrases. They're commands, spells you cast with your own mouth, and your subconscious listens to them all. It writes them down. It memorizes them. It begins to match your energy, your behavior, your expectations, until one day, you wake up in a life built entirely by language you didn't question. That ends now. From this moment forward, you do not use words that betray your power. You eliminate the vocabulary of limitation. You erase the language of failure. You break the verbal habits of self-sabotage. You never again say, that's just how I am. You never again say, I'm not the type of person who. You never again use your voice to defend a version of yourself you're ready to outgrow. You stop speaking weakness cold. You stop labeling yourself as less than. You stop calling things hard as if that excuses you from doing them. You stop using words that make excuses sound noble. And in their place, you speak power. You say, I attract. You say, You say, I am. And when you say it, you mean it. You say, I attract opportunities that match my purpose. I choose belief over doubt, Focus over fear. I am disciplined. I am powerful. I am becoming exactly who I decided to be. You speak these words out loud, not because they're magic, but because they're structure. Your voice creates alignment, and the more you say it, the more your subconscious listens. The more it listens, the more it obeys. And the more it obeys, the more your life changes. This is not hype, it's science. Words shape thought. Thought shapes behavior. Behavior shapes result. This is the chain, and it always begins with speech. So here's your exercise. Rewrite your entire internal language system, not just affirmations, a full rewrite. Audit your daily vocabulary. Every casual phrase, every automatic response, every time you say, I can't, I'm trying, it's hard, or that never works for me, you stop and you switch. Instead of I'm trying, say, I am training. Instead of I'm bad with money, say, I'm building financial intelligence. Instead of I'm anxious, say, I'm learning to calm my mind. You don't lie, you lead. You speak where you're going, not where you've been. You talk like the version of you that already exists, because the law of identity follows language. Speak it long enough and your mind, your body, your behavior will align. You stop speaking like a victim. You stop narrating pain like it's your name. You don't have to pretend you're perfect, but you do have to stop confirming the old story every time you open your mouth, because your voice is the code, and the code creates your reality. Start now. Say it. I speak power. I speak purpose. I speak faith into my future. My words carry weight. My language attracts. My voice leads my life. This is not about sounding good. It's about sounding aligned. Your words are bridges to belief, and belief is the birthplace of everything. So from this day forward, speak with precision. Speak with purpose. Speak with faith. Speak like someone who knows the law is listening, because it is. You don't speak for sympathy. You speak for creation. You don't vent out of habit. You declare out of vision. You don't use language to report reality. You use language to build it. You speak with intent. You speak with command. You speak with awareness. And when you do, it all changes. Because when your speech shifts, your mind shifts. And when your mind shifts, your life can't help but follow. Emotion is not decoration. It's not noise. It's fuel. The power amplifier. The one ingredient that turns dry thought into living creation. Without emotion, your words are flat. Your thoughts are weightless. Your intentions float in place. But inject emotion and now the law moves. Now the subconscious listens. Now belief begins. The subconscious is not logical. It does not respond to reason. It responds to feeling. That's the gatekeeper. Emotion is the password. No matter how smart you are, no matter how clear your plan is, if it's not charged with emotion, it will not pass into belief. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you feel to be true. If you visualize abundance but you feel scarcity, you get scarcity. If you affirm confidence but you feel doubt, you get hesitation. If you declare success but your body vibrates with fear, you stay stuck. This is why people struggle with the law. They say all the right things, but the emotion isn't there. It's hollow, it's weak, it's mechanical. But the law doesn't follow language, it follows frequency. And emotion is the frequency generator. So you must train yourself to feel it now, not later, not when it shows up, not when it's proven. Now, before the evidence, before the win, before the manifestation, you must feel the result so strongly that it becomes more real than your current circumstance. That's the power. When you feel something so deeply, the world has no choice but to respond, because your energy has shifted. Your body speaks a new language. You're not wishing anymore. You're magnetizing. And understand this. Fear is not weakness. It's faith in reverse. It's powerful belief aimed at what you don't want. That's why it creates so quickly. It's focused. It's emotional. It's practiced. Fear is proof that you know how to believe, just in the wrong direction. So flip it. Take the same intensity, the same focus, the same imagination, and aim it at what you do want. That's faith. That's alignment. That's mastery. You must learn to cultivate high-frequency emotions on command. Gratitude, power, certainty, joy. These are not random feelings. They are tools. And like any tool, You can choose to pick them up. You can train yourself to reach for them, even when your mind says otherwise. This is the turning point. When you stop waiting to feel good and start choosing to feel good. When you stop reacting and start generating, you start your day with power, not by default, but by design. You close your eyes, you speak your affirmation, and you feel the words as if they are already true. I am powerful. Say it until your spine believes it. I am worthy. Say it until your breath relaxes. I attract what matches my highest frequency. Say it until your cells vibrate with truth. It's not about convincing, it's about activating. You already know what these states feel like. Confidence, love, strength. You felt them before, so you don't need to create them. You need to recall them. Call them up. Step into them. Make them your new emotional home. This is your practice, emotionally charged affirmations. Not soft, not quiet, not robotic, charged. You say it with presence. You say it with breath. You say it until the energy in your body changes. Say it again. I choose power. I choose alignment. I choose to feel the future before it arrives. Because that's the key. Feeling it now. If you wait to feel successful until you succeed, you'll never succeed. If you wait to feel worthy until you're approved, you'll never feel worthy. If you wait to feel loved until someone loves you, you'll always feel empty. Feel it now, and you'll attract the experiences that match it. Emotion is the evidence to your subconscious that it's real. No emotion, no evidence. No evidence, no belief. No belief, no action. No action, no result. That's the chain. So start now. Feel what you're becoming. Feel it in your bones. Feel it in your breath. Feel it in your skin. You don't need a reason. You are the reason. This is your state. This is your power. This is your fuel. And the more you practice it, the more natural it becomes. Until one day, you no longer have to force it. You wake up and you are it. The feeling has become your identity. You become magnetically confident, gratefully successful, calmly powerful. And the world, it mirrors back what you carry, because emotion moves the law. So stop waiting to feel better. Decide to. Breathe into it. Speak into it. Live into it. And let your feelings lead your reality until your reality matches your feelings. You don't wait to believe. You train yourself to believe. Belief isn't luck. It's not random. It's not something that clicks one day. Belief is a muscle. You build it. You condition it. You feed it. You repeat it over and over until your subconscious has no choice but to accept it as truth. This is the principle of autosuggestion. Repetition with emotion, spoken daily, spoken deliberately, spoken with intensity, until your nervous system adapts to your new identity. Once you understand this, you no longer wait for clarity or motivation or proof. You start declaring, first thing in the morning, last thing at night. These are the two sacred windows when your subconscious is most open, most receptive, most programmable. You don't fill those hours with distraction. You don't start your day in chaos or end it in doubt. You begin and end with power. Morning and evening belief rituals, that's your foundation. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, spoken aloud, eyes closed, heart open, not thoughts, not journaling, not whispering, spoken repetition, your voice, your breath, your command. Because silent thought is passive, spoken word is active. When you speak something with emotion, it leaves your body, it leaves your lungs, it hits the air, it echoes back. That echo imprints your subconscious. The vibration becomes real, and your system begins to align with the command. Say it aloud. I am clear, I am powerful, I am focused, I am ready, I am becoming, not once, not casually, daily, deliberately, with breath and rhythm and presence. Your subconscious doesn't care how long you've been stuck. It only cares what you repeatedly declare. It doesn't check history. It listens for pattern. If you say it enough, with enough feeling, the old story dies. The new one replaces it, and the change becomes automatic. This is why the most disciplined people in the world repeat the same things every day. Not because they forget, but because they remember through repetition, and through repetition, So here's your practice. Commit to a 30-day and 90-day auto-suggestion cycle. 2 rounds, 1 for rewiring, 1 for embedding. Choose 5 to 10 power affirmations that match your vision. Present tense, personal, emotional. Speak them every morning before anything else. Speak them every night before sleep. No skipping, no exceptions. 30 days, your mind starts to shift. 90 days, your identity starts to shift. After that, you're not even repeating them anymore. They've become who you are. Here's how it sounds. I am decisive. I trust myself. I attract aligned people and opportunities. I finish what I start. I act without fear. I live from vision, not memory. I am the architect of my life. You don't just say these, you charge them. You feel them land in your chest. You say them louder when you feel resistant. You say them slower when you need them to sink. You look yourself in the mirror and declare the future as if it's already here. And yes, your mind will try to fight it. Doubt will whisper. Old stories will protest, but they are weaker than volume. They are weaker than consistent. They are weaker than emotion. You become immune to doubt not by arguing with it, but by overwhelming it. You drown it in certainty. You bury it in repetition. You don't need to debate your fears. You need to outspeak them. You need to make your new voice louder than your old one. Every word you repeat builds weight. Every day you show up, belief compounds. You stop waiting for confidence to appear. You manufacture it. You don't chase evidence. You speak it until the world responds, because the subconscious builds what is emotionally declared. That's the law. And the more often you declare it, the faster it becomes structure. So don't miss a day. Don't miss a moment. Stack belief until there's no room for doubt. Rehearse your future until it feels familiar. Repeat your identity until it replaces the one that no longer serves you. You don't wait to believe. You repeat to believe. You don't hope. You train. You don't try. You declare. And soon what was once just a sentence in the air becomes the life you live without even thinking. You cannot hit what you do not aim at. You cannot attract what you will not define. Power begins with precision. The vague repel results. The clear invite them. This is the law. The universe responds to clarity, not wishes, not maybes, not we'll see, only decisions, only direction, only declarations that say this is who I am, this is what I want, and this is when I want it. Without that, the law has nothing to organize around. The subconscious has nothing to build around. Your actions have nothing to align around. The definite chief aim is not a motivational concept. It is the structure of all manifestation. It is the blueprint you hand to the universe and say, here, build this. Without it, you drift. With it, you direct. It is the difference between momentum and mediocrity. No general wins a war without a target. No architect builds without a plan. No traveler arrives without a destination. And yet most people try to build lives without ever deciding exactly what they want. They say they want more. But more of what? They want success, but what does that look like exactly? They want freedom, but freedom to do what, where, with whom, and by when. This is where everything changes, when you define your definite chief aim. Clear, specific, measurable, emotional, written, spoken, visualized. You must answer 3 questions. What do I want? By when? What will I give in return? This is not optional. It is sacred. This is your contract with the universe. This is the moment you stop hoping and start instructing. You stop floating and start building. Look at history. Carnegie didn't guess his way into wealth. He wrote his purpose with clarity so sharp it burned into memory. He said exactly what he wanted, to become the steel magnate of the world, and to spend the second half of his life giving away his fortune to causes that would elevate humanity. He knew what, he knew when, he knew what he would give. You must do the same. Write it in present tense, bold, direct, no fluff. This is not a wish list. This is a personal constitution. I am earning waters per year by date. I do this through your vehicle. I exchange value in the form of your skill, product, or service. I am known for your reputation. I live in your environment. I serve your audience. I feel your emotional state. I give back by your contribution. I give consistent time and effort, and I receive joyfully what matches that level of energy. Now speak it. Every morning, every night. Say it like a leader. Say it like it's already real. Say it like your life depends on it, because it does. Your aim is your internal GPS. Without it, your subconscious doesn't know which road to take. Without it, your attention splinters. Your energy disperses, your momentum dies. But when the aim is defined, everything recalibrates. You start noticing what matches. You start rejecting what doesn't. Your time becomes sacred. Your focus becomes surgical. Then visualize it. See the life already built. Don't imagine someday. See now. Smell it. Hear it, touch it. Make it vivid. Make it familiar. Make it emotionally real. Because once it becomes normal in your mind, it becomes inevitable in your world. This aim is not just a goal. It is an anchor. It holds you steady through doubt. It brings you back when you drift. It wakes you up when comfort creeps in. When everyone else is vague, you are clear. When everyone else is reactive, you are precise. When everyone else hesitates, you are already moving because you know exactly where you're going. And yes, it will evolve. You will refine it. You will grow beyond it. But first you must choose it. You must name it. You must give the law something to work with, something to arrange your circumstances around, something to rally your energy around. So start now. No delay. No excuses. Write your definite chief aim. Speak it. See it. Declare it daily until you breathe it without thinking, until it becomes the new operating system of your life. You don't attract what's possible. You attract what's defined, what's decided, what's demanded by the clarity of your focus and the power of your belief. This is your blueprint. This is your contract. This is the moment you stop leaving life to chance and start leading it by choice. The universe doesn't respond to flashes of thought. It responds to magnetic continuity. One clear frequency repeated with emotion, backed by belief, followed by action. That is the formula. That is the chain reaction. Thought, feeling, belief, action, result. Miss one, and the chain breaks. Align all, and manifestation begins. Thought alone is not enough. A single wish, a moment of inspiration, a vague desire, none of that creates. The law isn't triggered by temporary interest. It is moved by sustained inner alignment. Thought must be felt. Feeling must evolve into belief. Belief must ignite action, and only then does result follow. It begins with thought. Every creation starts there, but thought is the spark, not the flame. It needs fuel. That fuel is feeling, emotion, energy. When you think the thought and feel it in your body, now the frequency is set. Now the broadcast begins. Now your subconscious starts listening. But feeling isn't the finish, it's the bridge. Because repeated emotional thought becomes belief, and belief is where identity lives. You no longer hope it feels obvious, natural, familiar. You're not trying to manifest it anymore, you expect it. You are it. That's when the magnetic pull begins. That's when you move differently. That's when your body, your words, your choices all shift. Because belief always leads to action. Aligned belief creates automatic action. You don't have to force discipline. You don't have to push yourself with willpower. The actions flow because your mind already decided. The decision was made long before the effort. You aren't thinking about whether to move. You're already moving. And those actions taken in alignment with thought and feeling produce results that match their source. This is the law's invisible mechanism. One piece feeds the next. Thought feeds feeling. Feeling shapes belief. Belief drives action. Action produces result. And result feeds back into belief, forming a loop, a rhythm, a current of energy that compounds over time. You've seen it before. People who move with unwavering confidence. People who don't guess or flinch or delay. They don't just act, they know. You can feel it in their presence. That alignment is the product of internal coherence. They're not saying one thing and feeling another. They're not thinking lack and speaking abundance. They're not doubting and declaring in the same breath. But most people send mixed signals. They visualize success but worry all day. They write affirmations but live in hesitation. They pray for abundance but prepare for struggle. They speak goals but act like victims. The universe cannot work with contradiction. The law responds to coherence when every layer of you sends the same message. So stop splitting your signal. Stop thinking one way and feeling another. Stop believing halfway and then acting like you don't. Stop wondering why it hasn't worked when your energy has been fractured. Clarity is power. Alignment is magnetism. Look at Ford. When he demanded his engineers create an 8-cylinder engine in a single block, they told him it was impossible. He said, "Build it anyway." They came back. "Still impossible." He repeated, "Build it anyway." Not once, not hypothetically, with certainty, with belief, with aligned action behind every word. And in time, they did. It wasn't the thought alone. It was the unbreakable chain of thought-fueled belief. He didn't doubt. He didn't adjust the vision to match circumstance. He made circumstance bend to vision. That's magnetic. That's how results are pulled into reality. Now it's your turn to build your own chain. Not once, daily, hourly, moment by moment. Think the vision. Feel it deeply. Let it register in your body. Believe it fully. Remove the need to question. Speak it aloud. Give it breath and weight. Act on it consistently. Small steps, bold steps, daily steps. This is your formula. No more wishing without action. No more feeling high but thinking low. No more declarations that aren't backed by motion. Every piece of you must agree, because when it does, results accelerate. Life begins to match your intention, not slowly, but exponentially. One aligned decision brings the next. Opportunities appear. People respond. Energy compounds. You are no longer chasing outcomes. You are attracting confirmations. So build the chain. Strengthen every link. And the next time you feel doubt rise, remember, thought alone isn't the answer, but aligned thought, emotionally charged, believed, spoken, and acted on. That is the unstoppable sequence. That is the magnetic reaction. That is the law in motion. This is where the shift happens. This is where the line is drawn. This is the end of drifting, the end of waiting, the end of hoping, explaining, circling, doubting. From here forward, you take full command of your thoughts, of your emotions, of your repetition, of your identity. You step into the role you were always meant to hold. The commander of your destiny. No more asking if it works. No more wondering if you're ready. You decide who you are. You rehearse it. You believe it. You act on it. You become it. The law is not optional. It's not selective. It's mechanical. It responds to the clearest signal, the most consistent vibration, and the most powerful vibration of all is identity. Who you believe you are shapes what you do, what you allow, what you attract, and what you expect. It's time to make that shift permanent. Not just in theory, not in inspiration, in practice, in repetition, in daily non-negotiables that rewire your system from the inside out. This is the 90-day transformation. Not because change takes time, but because identity requires consistency. You're not repeating to wish, you're repeating to reprogram. You're training your body, your beliefs, and your responses to match the version of you that creates intentionally on purpose without hesitation. Start by declaring exactly who you are becoming. Not vaguely, not safely. Decide it, own it, write it, speak it, live it. You're not here to slightly improve. You're here to radically align with the truth of your power. You're here to shift from someone who reacts to someone who commands. You're here to take your place as a conscious creator of outcomes, not a passive participant in circumstances. Say it aloud. I attract exactly what I decide to become, not what I hope for, not what I wait for, not what shows up by accident, what I decide. I choose the frequency. I shape the identity. I direct the pattern. I do it daily. I repeat until it feels native. I persist until doubt fades. I move until the evidence stacks in my favor. This is how it works. This is how it always worked. You rehearse it until it hardens into belief. You believe it until it dictates your actions. You act on it until it becomes your nature. You become it, slowly at first, then suddenly, then unquestionably. Drifting ends when command begins. There is no waiting for permission anymore. You are not defined by past behavior. You are not limited by old environments. You are not held back by temporary fear. You rise above all of it the moment you say, "This is who I am now," and then you live like it's already true. You begin each morning by choosing your identity before the world has a chance to choose it for you. You speak the affirmations not because they sound good, but because they remind your nervous system who's in charge. You no longer think for survival. You think for creation. You don't react emotionally. You channel emotion as a creative force. You don't wait for results. You embody the state that produces them. So here is your charge for the next 90 days. Repeat your identity aloud, twice daily. Move your body into agreement. Think thoughts that confirm it. Make choices that validate it. Show up with the energy of someone who already knows they're becoming. Replace every weak signal with a strong one. Replace every hesitation with a habit. Replace every doubt with action. You are no longer a drifter. You are the architect, the designer, the director. You are the one shaping outcomes instead of interpreting them. This isn't a motivational idea. This is your new operating system. When you rehearse who you are, you start to believe it. When you believe it, you begin to act like it. When you act like it, you reinforce. And when you reinforce it long enough, you don't even have to try anymore. You've become it. This is the loop that never ends. This is the mechanism of all transformation. This is the moment you stop trying to change and start commanding alignment. Because when identity shifts, everything else follows. So decide who you are. Repeat it until your cells remember. Declare it until the world adjusts. Walk like it's already yours. Speak like it's already done. Act like it's non-negotiable. You attract exactly what you decide to become. And from this moment forward, you are no longer becoming. You are commanding. This is the moment where transformation leaves theory and enters practice. The law doesn't respond to what you know. It responds to what you embody. These next 90 days are not a waiting room for change. They are a workshop for identity. You are not trying to manifest. You are conditioning the field. You are becoming magnetic, not by accident, but by discipline. This plan is not a side habit. It is the new infrastructure for your being. Start with the morning. Your mind is most impressionable in the first 20 minutes of the day, before the world interrupts, before fear wakes up, before distractions rush in. You speak first. You choose the signal. The morning script is your daily broadcast to the universe and to yourself. Stand tall, shoulders back, breathe deeply. Speak each phrase with presence and weight. I begin today as the creator, not the reactor. My thoughts are electric. My emotions are magnetic. I am tuned to receive. I am already aligned with the version of me that lives the life I've chosen. I do not hope. I declare. I do not guess. I decide. I do not chase. I attract. Say it 3 times. Eyes open, no rushing, no multitasking. You are commanding your frequency. You are directing your emotional tone. You are initiating your energy field. And from that place, every action you take is amplified. At night, you return to discipline, not chaos. You do not go to sleep in the same frequency the world gave you. You finish the day in the vibration you choose. The evening script resets your internal field. It doesn't matter what happened today. What matters is the signal you send before rest. This is when the subconscious becomes most accessible, when repetition is planted most deeply. I release all resistance. I keep only the frequency that matches my desire. My subconscious is now recording my next level of reality. I am safe to believe, even without evidence. I sleep as the future me. I rise as the present me. These are not affirmations. They are instructions. You are not simply doing the work. You are reprogramming the blueprint. Speak them with calm, with clarity, with authority. Let the last voice you hear be your own. Let the last instruction of the night be alignment, not anxiety. The next foundational tool is the Definite Chief Aim worksheet. Most people wander because they don't define. They want success, but they never write what success actually is. You do. You define it with brutal clarity, not abstractly, not someday. You write your aim, like a contract. Start with the goal. This is what I am manifesting. Write it in the present tense. Clear, measurable, precise. No fluff, no filler. Then write the date. This is when I will have it. Not wishfully, not hopefully. You pick the timeline, knowing the law does not operate on randomness, but responsiveness. Next, write what you will give. This is the energy, the habits, the time, and the value I am willing to exchange. Because the law is not a free vending machine. It responds to contribution, not just desire. Declare your part. You then write your reason. This is why it matters. This is who I'm becoming in the process. This is the life I am anchoring through this goal. You read this chief aim every morning. You visualize it every night. It becomes the central vibration of your system. It is no longer just a sentence. It is a self-identity. But to support it, your emotion calibration chart becomes your daily internal compass. Emotion is not random. It is readable. You begin tracking where you are emotionally operating from throughout the day. Are you in a high-frequency state, gratitude, certainty, peace, or are you unknowingly slipping into fear, doubt, frustration, or guilt? Create a simple emotional spectrum from low to high: shame, guilt, fear, anger, frustration, apathy, neutrality, courage, willingness, acceptance, joy, love, peace. 3 times per day. Check in. Where are you? What are you rehearsing emotionally? What thought or story put you there? The goal isn't to judge. The goal is to shift. You are no longer a victim of mood. You are a calibrator of frequency. To go deeper, you track your thoughts with the daily thought tracker. You are no longer passive with the stories your mind tells. You capture the unconscious loops and turn them conscious. You write "Tyke," the dominant thought or phrase that showed up today, the emotion it created, the action or inaction that followed, whether it served or sabotaged your definite chief aim. Over time, patterns emerge. You begin to see that the same 5 thoughts keep running the same emotional programs. You no longer need to guess why outcomes repeat. You can now trace them, and because you trace them, you can replace them, which leads directly to your word and phrase replacement list. This is your language detox. Words are containers of energy, and most people speak their limitations before they live them, but you don't anymore. You build 2 columns: fear-based language. I can't, I don't know how. Hopefully, I'm trying. This always happens to me. I'll believe it when I see it. Power language replacement. I choose to. I'm learning exactly how. It's already in motion. I'm committed. I shift patterns now. I see it internally. I believe it. I act on it. Then I see it externally. Review this list daily. Catch yourself in real time. Edit your spoken words mid-sentence. Speak in alignment with the identity you declared in your chief aim. You are now fluent in the language of power. Then each day, step into your vision space using the visualization prompt guide. No more vague images. No more foggy daydreams. You use precision. Visualize one specific moment in your future life. A conversation you're having with someone after you've manifested the result. The environment. Where are you? What do you hear, see, smell, where? The emotional tone. How do you feel in your body as you live it? The proof. What's different now? What has changed in your relationships, finances, health, energy? Do this for 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes before sleep. You're not watching a movie. You're rehearsing an identity. You're speaking directly to your subconscious in the only language it understands. Image, house emotion. Repetition. Every day, this system reinforces the law. Thought, feeling, belief, action, result. Every tool sharpens your coherence. Every repetition sculpts your frequency. Every shift becomes automatic. By day 15, you'll feel the resistance begin to fade. By day 30, your mind will default to new language and patterns. By day 60, your body will respond with new emotional baseline. By day 90, you will look, speak, think, and attract like the version of you once visualized. And the best part, you won't be surprised, because you practiced, you rehearsed, you believed, you became. This is not motivation. This is rewiring. This is your personal system of magnetic alignment. And once installed, it stays. You don't wait for results. You embody the cause. You don't force belief. You train it daily. You don't drift. You command. For 90 days, this plan is your contract. Follow it, not perfectly, but faithfully. Not with pressure, but with presence. This is the practical discipline of becoming. This is what separates trying from transformation. You now know how to control your signal. You now understand how to shape your inner world until the outer reflects. From this day forward, you are no longer wondering when it will happen. You are now practicing who you must be until it cannot not happen.